We're back again in the attic. We're working with the BTS7960, trying to turn that into a water heater. And before, you probably noticed that this is the same setting as the last time, that they were spaced out a lot more. There was a bigger voltage change, and the meter was jumping around a lot more. We've cleaned this up, and we did that by changing from a simple voltage divider to a voltage divider that incorporates some Zeners. Now, what these Zeners do is, if you have 18 volts and you have 3 Zeners in series, you're subtracting that 15 volts off. Now, before, when you have a voltage divider, if you had a 5-volt change on your capacitor bank, you had like a 5-to-1 voltage divider. So the sense circuit saw a voltage change of 1 volt. But if you subtract out a bunch of voltage, that 5-volt change turns into about 2.5 volts. And so everything gets a lot tighter. We had, before, we had around a 23 millisecond on time, which is like really way too long. And you need a really large capacitor bank if you're going to do something like that. But the big change was that, we were going from a high voltage to a lower voltage, and that delta was just much too large. Now this tightens it up. This is a good working schematic for the using the module for like an 18-volt water heater, with a 12-volt element. So I've simplified everything. We have 3 5.1 volt Zeners in series. You could use any kind of Zener you wanted, but when you order Zeners, you're not going to get just one. You're going to get a package of 10 or something like that. So here we need a 5.1 for the supply voltage for the HC244, and so you have to have that, and so we might as well use those to do the offset. And we need some resistors. Just get a package of 10Ks. 2 10Ks in parallel will give you 5K there. So it's 5K and 10K on the board itself. So you get a 2/3 voltage at this point. And that protects this voltage from going over 5 volts, which would damage the chip. And we got 2 10Ks up here to make the pot adjustable. The pot is one of these imitation burns from China. You can get them for about $2-3. And a 10-turn pot gives you a lot of adjustment range. So your capacitor bank, those are 1200 UF. You've got 5 of them for 6,000. More capacitors the better. And then you have the module. But that's the kind of waveform you get. And you're just getting a couple volts up at the top. You could tighten this up a little more. Instead of this 10K, you always want to at least have 10K in here, because that 10K will protect the Zeners. But this other 10K, you could throw in a bunch of diodes. Each diode is 0.7 volts. And so, yeah, you could subtract off some voltage that way. Make it even tighter. But that's kind of a nice water heater for not much work. You get the heat sink and something that looks reasonably well, and just add a couple extra parts. This can be any kind of diode. I used power diode because I pulled one off a board. a 4148 or whatever that is. Any small glass diode would work here, because you're not seeing a lot of voltage. You're just trying to keep this point from getting tied to this point, except when this goes over 5 volts. But I think this is a simple little project. I think people could handle it. And next time we might put a couple panels on and show this heating some water.